How's it going, guys? So I got our sprayer rig ready to go here. I'm going to be spraying the second pass of fertilizer on our spring forage crop. Last time we were using this sprayer, we had blown a tire, got that fixed up, got a tube put in it. The first pass we just used the regular sprayer fan nozzles, and now the second pass, since the crop is taller, we're just going to spin these over. We have these stream nozzles, so they're just going to put out 7 little bands of fertilizer. Once the crop starts to green up, the nitrogen could burn it a little bit, especially on a sunny day like this. We'll kind of stream it over, that way it'll fall down to the ground, and the crop it'll pull it up through the roots then. Like I said, I'll get the fertilizer pumping in there, and we'll go around and spin all those nozzles into place. So I made it out to the field. This is the one I started in last time. See how much it's greened up. Hopefully these nozzles work. I haven't tried them in a while. Yep, looks like they're working good. Just running the water out of the booms right now. Oh, there's one there that's not working. I better go check. A little piece of dirt right there. So there, that thing came out of there now. Just that little piece of dirt. I don't know what that's from, but it was just around that hole, keeping it from flowing through, right? All right, ready to go. Yeah, this stuff's really greening up. There's one patch up there that I skipped. I'll have to stop and look at that, see if we can see a difference. This is cereal rye. It's really taken off. We like to see sunlight in April. Last year we didn't have a whole lot of sunlight the whole month of April, and then we had pretty poor protein. We kind of blamed that on the lack of sunlight. Let's try this one more time to make sure this is working. So we're gonna run 15 gallons to the acre. Just set that there. So the sprayer knows my speed, so it'll just adjust the rate, whatever speed I go, get the right rate out. We're dribbling. I'm most of the way across the field here. Right at this spot is where I turned the sprayer off on the first pass of fertilizer. I should have did a bigger section because I think it kind of ran together. We got rain afterward. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but there's definitely a patch right there that's shorter. It's not quite as bright green. It's coming out of dormancy, but it's not greened up near as tall right here versus right next to it. See quite a bit of difference. So I like to split the fertilizer in 2 passes. Doesn't need all of it right away, so I give it half up front, greens it up, and then give it a boost now, and then we'll be ready to harvest in a few weeks. Hey guys, 2 days have actually passed here. I got half the fertilizing done on Monday, and then yesterday the weather was really nice. The breeze calmed down a bit, so I was actually spraying some glyphosate on some cover crops that we wanted to kill to plant early corn on. Now today I'm gonna finish up the fertilizing. So we're gonna do the triticale at the home farm here. We're doing a little bit of a trial with this calcium product. They said they were seeing some success with higher protein levels. I got a couple plots that I want to make sure I get the calcium product on, and then everything else will just get the regular nitrogen. Kind of nice on the second pass. I can see the tracks from the first time through. It'd be nice to have stream nozzles that had a little bit more flow to them, because I have to go pretty slow to get 15 gallons per acre down. The past couple years we were spraying a lighter rate, more like 10 gallons to the acre. They were good for that, but Trying to up it a little bit this year to get some more yield. I finished spraying that fertilizer. I'm at the heifer farm now that we keep our older pregnant heifers. I like to let these out in the pasture now that it's getting nicer out. We were working at the fences last week. Got everything ready to go. We want to let them out here. Always like to watch them at first. Don't want them to break through the fence or get too crazy. So we try to keep them in this little area, let them burn off some energy before we let them out into the bigger pasture. It's usually a bit of a fight. They don't want to walk out here on their own. Yeah, they didn't fight too much this year. You've had issues in the past where they just don't want to leave the concrete over there. They're not used to it. So these are all pregnant heifers. They'll be calving in the next 4 or 5 months. So we'll be milking them then. My goal is to keep about 25 head at this farm. Just works out a lot better. We keep the barn clean, and that way the pastures aren't overwhelmed either. So this first one right here is a half Montebillard calf heifer. We have 3 of those. Hey. Relax. So it'll be nice, even though we don't have a ton of pasture this time of year, they'll get some grass. With the rain we get in spring, we get plenty of grass growing. Usually in the summer it kind of slows down. Got a couple other cattle the neighbor has. I'm not even sure what type of cattle those are. Always get a little nervous, hoping they'll see the fence over at the other end. Beautiful weather out here, 75, sunny. This meadow has a 4-wire high tensile fence, and we run electric through it. So the top wire and the second to the bottom wire. That usually keeps them in pretty well. I'm working at feeding the cows now for this afternoon. Got the protein forages in and some mineral. I'm gonna add our grain and then go out and get silage. I was talking about how we were feeding some wet brewer's grain this winter because we were a little bit short on protein forage. It was working out pretty well for a while there, but now that the weather's warming up, it wasn't keeping very well. It took us about 2 weeks to feed a load of it, and by then it was starting to smell a little bit. Not the best feed, so we're starting to feed some soy hulls now actually to help stretch the forage a little bit. They're pelletized because it'd be so light and fluffy, it'd blow away in the wind. Our silos are about empty. We're just about out of triticale. So it should just be a few weeks until we can harvest the spring forage. The rye will be ready to go. Trying to make a lot more of it this year, putting some more fertilizer on, doing some more acres so that we don't run out next year. So yeah, that's one of the ingredients we're using along with the regular grains. Yeah, I guess soy hulls would just be the fines they get from harvesting soybeans. I don't know when they clean the grain, or I'm not sure exactly where they get it, but it's a byproduct that still has good fiber, good feed value. I'll set my camera up, we'll get some feed mixed. See, we're getting close to the back of the second bunker now. If you remember in the fall, we filled silage in front of the old stuff. It was some of the feed from 2021. We didn't quite get fed out, and we actually got through that seam now. This is the old silage we're feeding. So this would be harvested a year and a half ago, and it's actually Really good stuff. And really no spoilage either. We had more spoilage up farther where we filled in front of the old. It kind of sunk down as it was fermenting, and I guess created an air gap. So we had quite a bit of spoiled feed. We piled it all along the right side of the bunk there. Too much wasted feed. But now we got back to the old stuff, and that's perfectly fine. Just a tiny bit we're picking off the right side there. These bunks, if you get them packed really good like this, all this feed at the bottom is great, and it's just that top edge, it's hard to get that packed really well. It's impossible, because the bottom stuff has all the weight of the feed above it, stuff on top doesn't, so it's just not as compacted. If you get a hole in the plastic or anything, you have problems. Ready to run feed out now. We got the fans running in the freestall today. They turn on automatically once it gets to 68 degrees.